The WNBA has just dropped a bombshell that has fans buzzing and critics clapping back. Because yes, the woman they call the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese, has officially been suspended. And not just benched quietly, but publicly put in her place by her own team, the Chicago Sky. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about controversy, influence, and whether one of the brightest stars in women's hoops is crossing the line. The drama started after Angel Reese gave a fiery interview with the Chicago Tribune, where she tore into her team's disappointing season. And she didn't hold back. Reese demanded that the Sky's front office step up and recruit better players, making it crystal clear she refuses to settle for the same stuff we did this year. Her exact words, "We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best." Now, to most fans, that might sound like ambition, like leadership. But to her teammates, coaches, and the WNBA establishment, it came across as disrespectful. Because when you say, "We need great players," what does that say about the women who are already on your team? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the firestorm began. The Chicago Sky quickly announced that Angel Reese would be suspended for the first half of Sunday's game against the Las Vegas Aces. The official reason? Comments that were detrimental to the team. Translation: Angel Reese's mouth got her into trouble. And in the eyes of the league, no star is bigger than the game itself. This suspension didn't just make headlines in sports, it exploded across pop culture. Fans on social media accused Reese of trying to be more of an influencer than a baller. Tweets and TikToks slammed her, saying she's more focused on brand deals, Instagram posts, and controversy than the grind of basketball. Some even mocked her, saying, "Next thing she'll be demanding more pay when she can't even stop trashing her own team." But here's where the story gets messy. Angel Reese isn't just any player. She's a two-time All-Star, a national champion from LSU, and one of the most recognizable faces in women's sports today. She brings attention, ticket sales, and eyeballs to the WNBA. And that's the paradox. The league needs her, but right now it's also trying to discipline her. Think about it. The WNBA has been begging for stars who can cross over into mainstream culture. Angel Reese did that almost overnight. She's in music videos, she's at high-profile events, she's building a brand bigger than the game. But when your brand starts clashing with your team, suddenly the spotlight feels less like fame and more like a fire. Critics say this is the classic clash between old-school basketball values and new-age influencer culture. On one side, you have the traditionalists saying, "Shut up and play." On the other, you have players like Reese who understand that in today's world, being marketable is just as valuable as being talented. The problem is, trying to balance both can burn bridges quickly. And here's the kicker. Angel Reese isn't backing down. She's doubling down. In that interview, she didn't just complain about the season. She vowed to do whatever it takes to bring in superstar talent. This offseason, it's going to be very, very important to attract the best of the best, she said. That sounds like a woman ready to play general manager, not just power forward. But the question now is this: did Angel Reese go too far? Is this ambition or arrogance? Is she calling for excellence or insulting the very team she's supposed to lead? One thing's for sure. This suspension has turned her into the most polarizing figure in women's basketball right now. And the drama is only heating up. As the news of Angel Reese's suspension spread, the internet erupted in a frenzy. Fans were relentless, dissecting every word of her Tribune interview. Some praised her for being brutally honest, calling her the truth teller the WNBA needs. But the majority weren't holding back, painting her as self-centered, overly ambitious, and even harmful to the team's unity. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the platforms were ablaze with debates, memes, and even heated threads comparing Reese to other WNBA stars who were seen as more team first. One of the most recurring criticisms? Angel Reese allegedly prioritizing fame over basketball. Fans argued that her social media presence, flashy lifestyle, and public statements were more aligned with an influencer mentality than a professional athlete's discipline. "She's dragging her team for clout," one viral tweet read. Another fan claimed, The next thing she'll do is demand more pay while undermining her teammates. Suddenly, the conversation shifted from performance to persona, and Angel found herself in the crosshairs of a digital storm that shows no signs of slowing down. Inside the Chicago Sky organization, whispers of tension grew louder. Sources told insiders that Reese's comments weren't just disruptive, they were polarizing. While some teammates reportedly agreed with her call for great players, others felt blindsided, as if their hard work and loyalty were being publicly invalidated. Coaches and front office staff were forced to step in, reminding everyone that professionalism and internal communication must come first. But in a league where every player has a platform, how do you control a narrative once it goes public? It's worth noting, suspensions in the WNBA are rare, especially for top-tier All-Stars. The fact that Angel Reese, a two-time All-Star and one of the league's most recognizable faces, was penalized highlights the seriousness of her actions. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. It's a public statement by the Sky that words have consequences, even for their biggest stars. And in a league fighting for respect and visibility, the optics are critical. Make no mistake, Angel's ambitions are clear. She wants to compete at the highest level and surround herself with elite talent. Her comments about recruiting great players reflect a mindset that is unapologetically ambitious. But ambition in sports is a double-edged sword. Fans and critics alike argue that her method, calling out teammates publicly, crossed a line. It's one thing to push for excellence behind closed doors. It's another to air grievances on record, potentially fracturing team chemistry. Social media reactions continued to spiral. Clips of her interview were dissected frame by frame. Comment sections exploded with speculation about which teammates were most affected. Memes comparing Reese to Hollywood divas circulated rapidly. Influencers jumped into the discussion, some defending her competitive spirit, others lambasting her approach. What began as an internal team issue quickly became a national conversation, sparking debates about accountability, leadership, and the pressures of modern female athletes in the public eye. Fans didn't hesitate to compare Reese to other league stars. Some referenced players who stayed quiet despite frustrations, quietly motivating their teams and advocating for change internally. The argument? While talent is undeniable, diplomacy and humility are what keep locker rooms intact. Angel's outspoken style, while honest, was viewed by critics as reckless, a bold risk in a league where unity often equals success. The fallout could extend beyond fan opinions. Sponsors, league executives, and potential trade discussions are all impacted by a player's public image. Angel Reese's marketability is huge, but controversy is a double-edged sword. Could this suspension affect her endorsements? Could it impact her standing with the league or even future contract negotiations? These questions linger, adding layers of tension to an already charged situation. Behind the headlines and tweets, the emotional toll on Reese must be considered. Being suspended, facing public scrutiny, and seeing fans turn on you is no small burden, especially for a young athlete still carving her legacy. Emotions run high when ambition clashes with perception. The question now becomes, will Angel double down on her approach, apologize, or attempt a public reconciliation? Each path carries risks. Each path shapes her legacy. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Sources hint that the Chicago Sky's front office isn't done evaluating the situation. Internal meetings, strategy sessions, and player discussions are all ongoing. Could Reese's suspension be just the beginning? Could the team make additional moves this offseason in response to her statements? The drama isn't over. It's evolving, and the next chapter promises shocks, surprises, and perhaps even a turning point that no one saw coming. As the suspension news circulated, Angel Reese broke her silence, though not in the way many expected. On social media, she posted a statement emphasizing her love for the game and her desire to win. "I play to compete, to elevate my team, and to make sure we reach the level we're capable of," she wrote. On one hand, the statement seems heartfelt. On the other, it did little to quell the growing storm of criticism, leaving fans debating whether it was genuine or just a calculated PR move. Many fans weren't buying it. Comments flooded her posts, ranging from supportive but cautious, to outright hostile. "Words are nice, but actions speak louder," one fan said. Another wrote, "If you truly wanted to elevate your team, you wouldn't be publicly shaming them." The tension between ambition and accountability became the central narrative, as Angel's every move was dissected under the microscope of public scrutiny. Mainstream media picked up the story and amplified it. Analysts debated whether Angel Reese's approach was a sign of leadership or a cautionary tale of self-interest. Some described her comments as raw honesty, while others framed them as a dangerous precedent for public criticism within team sports. Suddenly, Angel's suspension wasn't just a team issue. It was a story with national resonance, affecting perceptions of the WNBA as a whole. Inside the Sky's locker room, sources suggest the atmosphere has been tense. Teammates reportedly felt blindsided, questioning why internal frustrations weren't handled privately. Some admired her passion, but others were concerned about unity and trust. The situation is a delicate balancing act, where one wrong step could escalate into a full-blown team fracture, something the franchise can't afford, especially with playoff aspirations hanging in the balance. Online, the debate intensified. On one side were fans who believe Angel is simply holding the organization accountable, advocating for excellence. On the other, detractors argue she's jeopardizing relationships for personal recognition. The conversation became a referendum, not just on her career, but on what fans expect from professional athletes in the age of social media. Are they competitors first, or public personalities? Angel Reese's career trajectory is now under scrutiny. She's undeniably talented, a two-time All-Star with a future full of potential. But this controversy could have long-term implications: endorsement deals, team negotiations, and even league-wide reputation. Sponsors thrive on positive visibility, and while a fiery personality can attract attention, it can also create risk. For Angel, her next steps will define whether this chapter becomes a turning point or a cautionary tale. The off-season looms, and with it, new possibilities. Angel's comments suggest she'll be actively involved in recruitment and strategy discussions, pushing the team to acquire top-tier talent. But the question remains: will her outspoken approach alienate the front office, teammates, or even potential recruits? Every statement, every action is now magnified, as the WNBA community watches to see whether she can navigate ambition without burning bridges. Meanwhile, social media hasn't let up. Memes, TikTok videos, and viral threads have transformed Angel's interview into a cultural talking point. Some are humorous, poking fun at her bluntness. Others are more critical, painting her as divisive or self-absorbed. In today's digital age, reputation can shift overnight, and Angel's public image is now a battlefield where every tweet can feel like a skirmish in a larger war. This saga also offers lessons for younger athletes watching from the sidelines. Ambition is essential, but timing, diplomacy, and strategy matter just as much. Angel's passion is undeniable, yet her method, airing grievances publicly, illustrates the risks of mixing social media with professional sports. It's a cautionary tale about balance, perception, and the thin line between leadership and controversy. And here's where the drama gets even thicker. Insiders hint that the Sky's management may consider additional disciplinary measures, or perhaps strategic changes, before the off-season even begins. Could this suspension spark trades, shakeups, or even force Angel to rethink her approach entirely? The answers aren't here yet, but one thing is certain: the story is far from over, and the next chapter promises shocking developments that could reshape the WNBA landscape forever. With Angel Reese's suspension making headlines, whispers of trade rumors began circulating almost immediately. Could the Sky be considering moving a high-profile player to restore team harmony? Some insiders suggested that the front office is weighing all options, from roster changes to strategic acquisitions, in order to prevent future conflicts. The mere possibility of a trade involving Reese sent fans into a frenzy, debating whether she could be leaving the only team she's ever known. The situation isn't just on the court. Off-court drama is building, with fans, analysts, and commentators speculating about the impact on Angel's personal brand. Some argue that her outspoken nature could open doors to opportunities outside the WNBA, like media appearances, endorsements, or even influencer projects. But others warn that a divided team could tarnish her legacy, making this a high-stakes balancing act between ambition and loyalty. The Chicago Sky's front office now faces a difficult decision. On one hand, Angel Reese is a superstar whose talent can drive wins and elevate the franchise. On the other, her public statements have strained relationships and created potential fractures in the locker room. How does management enforce accountability without losing a marquee player? It's a delicate chess game, and one misstep could ignite further controversy. Fans are divided like never before. Social media continues to explode with opinions, memes, and heated debates. Some are defending Reese, claiming that she's merely being honest about the team's shortcomings. Others insist that her public statements prove she's putting personal fame over team unity. The divide has reached a point where conversations about basketball performance are now entangled with celebrity culture, turning the WNBA into a trending topic beyond the sports world. The media is seizing every angle. Analysts dissect every clip of Reese's interviews, commentators weigh in on her statements, and sports news outlets run multiple stories per day. The suspension has become more than a simple disciplinary action. It's a national story about ambition, accountability, and the consequences of speaking out. Angel's every move is now under intense scrutiny, with fans and media alike wondering what her next step will be. Inside the locker room, perspectives are mixed. Some teammates reportedly admire Reese's drive and see her comments as a push toward greatness. Others feel undermined, interpreting her statements as criticism rather than motivation. The dynamic is fragile, and coaches must navigate the fine line between encouraging her competitive spirit and maintaining team cohesion. Every practice, every game, and every interaction is now amplified under the lens of tension. Angel Reese's persona as a public figure complicates matters further. She's a social media star, a two-time All-Star, and a rising icon in women's sports. Her statements reach millions instantly, creating a feedback loop of public perception and fan reaction. Managing this persona requires strategy, as one misstep can shift narratives overnight. Angel's challenge is not just athletic, it's navigating fame, influence, and the delicate balance of team loyalty. Looking ahead, the stakes are high. How Angel handles this suspension could define her career trajectory. Will she adapt, showing growth and leadership? Or will public criticism continue to overshadow her talent, creating long-term consequences for her legacy? Every interview, every social media post, and every on-court performance now carries amplified weight. This isn't just a story about basketball. It's about legacy, reputation, and the intersection of personal ambition with professional responsibility. As the offseason approaches, speculation grows. Could the Sky make major roster moves to accommodate Angel's vision of great players? Could other teams attempt to woo her away? The possibilities are endless, and fans are glued to every update, knowing that decisions made now could shift the balance of the league. The suspense is palpable, as the next chapter in Angel Reese's career promises drama, power plays, and jaw-dropping surprises. And here's the twist. Insiders hint that more developments are coming, possibly sooner than anyone expects. Whether it's a public apology, a trade, or a surprise team shakeup, the next few weeks could redefine Angel Reese's story entirely. The WNBA landscape is shifting, the fans are watching, and the drama is far from over. Stay tuned, because when the dust settles, no one will see the fallout coming. As the offseason looms, tension around Angel Reese has never been higher. Every fan, analyst, and teammate is waiting to see her next move. Will she soften her stance, offer an olive branch to her teammates, or double down on her uncompromising ambition? The uncertainty has created a whirlwind of speculation, with every tweet, post, and interview scrutinized like never before. Fans remain deeply divided. On one side, her supporters argue that Angel is a trailblazer, unafraid to speak her truth and demand excellence. On the other, critics say her approach undermines teamwork and threatens the very foundation of the Sky's cohesion. Social media debates rage on, with hashtags trending daily, memes going viral, and every new statement dissected by thousands. The public spectacle has turned Angel Reese into both a hero and a villain, depending on who you ask. For Angel herself, the stakes are enormous. Beyond her reputation and career trajectory, there's the emotional weight of public scrutiny. Athletes aren't just judged by their performance on the court, they're measured by their leadership, communication, and ability to inspire. Angel's outspoken nature has amplified the pressure, forcing her to navigate a minefield of fan opinion, team politics, and media commentary simultaneously. Inside the Chicago sky, the suspension has ripple effects. Team morale, trust, and chemistry are all at risk, and coaches are working tirelessly to maintain balance. Some players reportedly appreciate Angel's drive but are concerned about public criticism. Others feel blindsided, wondering if loyalty and effort are being overshadowed by social media theatrics. It's a high-stakes game of managing personalities as much as basketball talent. The media spotlight shows no sign of dimming. Every interview, highlight, and social media post is now treated as breaking news. Analysts dissect her words, clips go viral, and each comment becomes fodder for debate. Angel Reese's suspension is no longer a single incident. It's a symbol of the modern intersection of social media, athlete influence, and public expectation. And in this landscape, a single misstep can reverberate far beyond the court. One question looms large. What does this mean for Angel Reese's legacy? Talent alone can't define a star in today's spotlight. Leadership, teamwork, and public perception are equally critical. The choices she makes in the next few weeks could cement her status as a bold, unapologetic competitor, or cast a shadow over her achievements. The path forward is filled with both opportunity and peril. With the off-season approaching, speculation is reaching fever pitch. Will the Sky make strategic roster moves to appease or challenge Reese? Could trade rumors turn into reality? Fans are eagerly watching every update, knowing that these next decisions could reshape the team, the league, and Angel's career trajectory. One thing is certain, this isn't just another sports story. It's a dramatic saga with real-world stakes. Meanwhile, social media continues to amplify every detail. Memes, TikToks, and viral threads have transformed Reese's suspension into a cultural event. From humorous takes to sharp criticism, the discourse shows no signs of slowing. Angel's every word and action is now part of a larger conversation about accountability, ambition, and influence, making her both the center of attention and the lightning rod for public debate. This saga also offers lessons for young athletes and fans alike. Ambition is vital, but timing, diplomacy, and strategy are just as important. Angel's story shows that raw talent and honesty must be paired with thoughtful communication and awareness of consequences. It's a cautionary tale about the delicate balance between standing out and supporting a team, between speaking truth and maintaining unity. And so, as the dust begins to settle, one question remains. What will Angel Reese do next? Apologize, double down, or spark a seismic shift in the WNBA landscape? Fans are glued to their screens, the Sky's management is strategizing behind closed doors, and the league watches every move with bated breath. One thing is certain, the drama isn't over and Angel Reese's story is far from finished. Stay tuned because the next chapter could shock the WNBA world forever.